What's up, guys? What's going on? You're welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Adeyemi Olowoshagba, and this is my review show. And let me just start by saying a happy new year to you guys. You're welcome to the year 2024. I call it the year of big things because I think there's going to be a lot of big things happening, to a lot of us, particularly in the film space in Nollywood. There's going to be a lot of we've achieved a lot in the last 1 year, but in the last year in review, but I think this new year is going to be a year of bigger things. I hope you guys are mentally, physically prepared for it, because it's going to be an amazing year anyways. Now, you're welcome to 2024 once again. I hope you guys enjoyed the festive period, you guys enjoyed the holidays and had a fantastic time. My December was not dirty, so let's just keep it that way. My December was very, very clean, but it was also a little bit of fun, so now we're gonna start off this episode of my review show with an amazing film that has literally become the talk of the town. It's literally become the word on the street. It's literally become the most talked about film in every Nigerian's lips right now, particularly within the festive period, even up until now. And it is now it has become the highest grossing Nollywood film at the box office, grossing over R1 billion so far, and I think it's still going to go up to 1.5 billion, and it's doing so well. It is none other but the film produced, co-written and co-directed by the one and only Funke Akindele, who I think is just an enigma. Someone I think is just powerful, one of the most powerful figures in the industry right now, putting into consideration, of course, her achievements in the last couple of years with all the films that she's worked on. It's interesting how Omogeto, the saga, was the highest grossing Nollywood film at the box office prior to this one that she released, which is, of course, A Tribe Called Judah, that has surpassed. So she's literally beating her own record, and that's just something amazing to talk about. Now today I'm going to be reviewing A Tribe Called Judah. I'm going to be saying all the things that I of course like about the film, and if there's anything I don't like about the film, I'm definitely going to talk about it. But let's dive right into it. Now, for starters, let's talk about the story. I think one thing that Funke Akindele has hacked, as a filmmaker, is that one, she knows her strength. She knows what she's really good at. She knows the kind of stories she wants to tell, and she sticks to it. I know she tried to do something new with She Must Be Obeyed, but I don't think it was really successful. But when it comes to films that talks about the grassroots, that talks about the suburban lifestyle, that talks about family, that talks about gangs in the local communities in Nigeria, that talks about families at the grassroots level, those kind of stories, indigenous local stories, she has hacked it. All the films that she's made successfully in her career, those are the kind of stories that this films have. And The Tribe Called Judah literally has done the same. She's done the same with A Tribe Called Judah. It's a story about a mother and her 5 sons who she has to, go through the challenges of life with as a single mother. And one thing I love about the story is the consistency of this story. From the beginning till the end, there were no dull moments. And it's pretty much, well, there were twists. I would say there were a couple of twists actually that stunned me, but then I would say the twists, and it came as a surprise, to be honest, and that is something that she did very well with this film, but we're gonna get to that point. But to talk about the story from the beginning to the end, I would say it's quite consistent. There were no dull moments. There were no moments for me to be wondering, what are we doing here? Why are we here? What's the correlation between this and this? That thing that happens in Nollywood where you're watching a film and they just take you somewhere wondering, how did we get here? What's the link between all this and this story? That never happened with this story, with this particular film, A Tribe Called Judah. From the beginning till the end, it was consistent. The tempo was high. There was no moment where you feel like the film just dropped and it came back up again. I didn't feel like that for the over 2 hours, 2 hours, 14 minutes that I, sat in the cinemas to watch this film. I did not feel like, okay, what are we doing here? Why is this place boring? Why is this person talking this way? It was just perfect. It was like everything was glued together, like a perfect fit, you know, and it was very consistent. The consistent, and it shows the amount of time they must have, you know, spent with the screenplay apart from the story, because the screenplay of a film is actually what helps the audience stay glued and stay engaged, you know, in the story. And I think I would say big shout out to them with for the consistency that they were able to, you know, get right. You know, they got the consistency right with the story from the beginning till the end. The dialogues, the performances, the links between all the scenes, and the tempo was consistent from the beginning till the end. There were no dull moments. I would say that with every sense of assurance that there were no dull moments in this film. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is casting. Oh my goodness. I think if there's anything Funke Akindele did exceptionally well in this film, it is casting these characters, all these amazing actors, starting with Uzo Arukwe to Nse Ikpe Etim to Jide Kene to Timini to Olumide Oworu, you know, to the guy that played, you know, the Yoruba boy, to all the 5 sons, and of course casting herself for this role in this film. I think she did exceptionally well, you know, with the casting. Brilliant casting. And it's, I won't call it an ensemble cast. It's not an ensemble cast, you know, but every character, Genoviva Ume, you know, I think it was just perfect. And the synergy between the cast, it shows that she allowed them build chemistry amongst each other. She allowed them spend quality time with each other to build chemistry. You can tell because there was so much chemistry with the actors, with the performances. There was so much delivery, great delivery, and every character, every cast was a perfect fit for their character, for their role. Every person that was casted was a perfect fit for their role, which is something that I would say is we're beginning to get quite right consistently in Nollywood now. We're beginning to cast ideal people, the ideal characters, the ideal personalities, and the ideal actors for roles that they are literally meant for. And that is something that I would applaud, you know, Funke Akindele and her casting team for. You know, in this film, all the actors were amazing. My goodness. I mean the consistency of Uzo Arukwe with his accent, my God. I was waiting for him to drop the ball. I was waiting for him to just, you know, not get it right. But this guy was consistent with his accent, which is, I would say it's much. Of course, you can say, yeah, he's an Igbo guy, so why not? Why can't he speak like that? But to be consistent, and he had a lot of scenes that he had. Yeah, he had a couple of numbers. He had a number of scenes that he appeared in, and he was really consistent with it. And I'm like, goodness. My goodness, he was so consistent. I mean, talk about Timini's role, talk about Jide Kene, who I think was absolutely brilliant. I mean, I won't say I've never been convinced by Jide Kene, but I've always had more expectations. And in this film, he was absolutely brilliant. He carried the film. His role was quite important. You know, his role was a role that, I mean, you will fall in love with and empathize with. And honestly, he carried it so well. He did so well in the film. Talk about Timini. Timini was that guy. You know, I mean, Timini, I mean, one day I'm going to talk about the story of how I met Timini. Even I'm sure he can't remember this, but I mean, Timini was just so good. How Genoviva Ume, you know, Genoviva was just great. Let's talk about Uzi Usman, who played the northern guy. I think he was just great. And it's funny how at the beginning of the film, Jide Kene's character carried this film, and then Uzi Usman character towards the end of the film carried it so well, and their delivery was just brilliant. I mean, I had goosebumps watching some of those guys, you know, because of their performances. It was so good, very convincing. The delivery, the performances, the way they carried themselves, quite convincing. I mean, we're going to talk about Toby Makinde. Toby Makinde is a revelation in this film. by the way. Let's just put that out there right now. Toby Makinde is a revelation in this film. I mean, I've seen him in a couple of things. Not, I mean, I won't say I'm consistent with his work, but seeing Toby Makinde in this film, I'll call him a revelation. He was so good. He was so convincing. He was that Raz street boy, and he delivered so well. Let's talk about Olumide Oworu, who I would say is almost my favorite character. Almost, by the way, almost my boy. He's not my favorite character in the film. I'm going to let you know who my favorite character in the film is, you know, before the end of this recording. But Olumide Oworu was so convincing, and that is where you're going to appreciate the casting team in this film, because casting Olumide for that role, it means you followed his trajectory. You literally saw him and you saw that he was the best fit. You know, he was the best person for that role. I mean, if you've seen Olumide Oworu in the Johnsons, then you will know that he was just so perfect, and he delivered so well, playing that perfect last born character. I just loved watching him, you know, deliver the way he delivered. And let's talk about Genevieve Ume. By the way, let's just say this right now: Genevieve Ume is the future, whether you like it or not. I know she didn't have that many scenes in this film, but for every time she appeared, she was convincing. And it's easy to fall in love with her. I mean, go and check her out in Breath of Life. Go and check her out in Blood Sisters. She is the future. Genevieve Ume, let's just put it out there right now. Genevieve Ume is the future, because she was so convincing. She's such a talented actor, by the way. She is so talented. She was so convincing. For the few scenes that she had, you want to watch her, you want to see her. She was just bubbly, full of life, and great credit to the casting team. Funke Akindele, by the way, her character as well, she was so good. She was so good. Itele the icon, that guy is becoming a menace in Nollywood. Let's just say that right now. Itele the icon, I think he's also an amazing actor, and he didn't have that many scenes, but I like his voice. He's one of those actors in Nollywood who I would say has a very powerful voice, particularly in the Yoruba film area. Now he is, of course, beginning to break into contemporary Nollywood films, and I think he was also not bad. But let me go back to who my favorite character in this film was. Honestly, let's say my top 3 favorite characters in this film, my top 3. Number 1, Uzo Arukwe. For what reason? For his consistency. He was so consistent, my goodness. Then his profiling, the costumes that they made him wear. Every time I saw him, I was just laughing at, waiting this guy they wear. This guy wear lemon. Lemon from top to bottom. And his accent was just, I just want to hear him talk. He was so convincing. It was so fun to watch. He was exciting. You know, he's that villain that you're not so angry with because it's fun to watch. You know, those villains that you can't be angry with him. You understand why he is who he is. Uzo Arukwe was my favorite character in the film. My second favorite character in this film, definitely Olumide Oworu. Olumide Oworu is my second favorite character in this film because he was so good. Olumide was so good. I mean, I liked it. It was so good. And Olumide is not a small boy. To play that role so well, it is quite amazing. Now, my third favorite character, definitely Genevieve Ume, particularly because of, I think, the last scene of the film. You will understand why she is my favorite character in the film when you watch it. I mean, if you've seen it, then you'll understand why she is my favorite character, particularly because of my third favorite character, because of the last scene in the film, the way she appeared, the way she did what she did. Because I was hoping to see her, and I saw her, and she did that, and I'm like, oh my god, this girl, you know. I mean, she was my third favorite character, but I would say the actor that made this film emotional, that made it emotional for not just me, I believe it made it emotional for a lot of people. I mean, I'm torn between two people. I'm actually torn between two people, but I would say one of the actors that made it so emotional for me in this film, and it was quite relatable, is Jide Kene's character. You know, I think he really carried his role very well, and he delivered, and I'd say he is up for, if there's gonna be an EMVCs this year, that guy must definitely be up for Best Supporting Actor in a film. Trust me, he has to be up for Best Supporting Actor, because he was so good. He carried it. Now Uzi Usman as well, towards the end of the film, he was also very, very good, you know. And then of course Funke Akindele, my God. And you know, she likes to play mothers, because I remember her in, you know, this film that she did with Wale Ojo, where she played Wale Ojo's mother as well when she was a, I mean you can tell that she knows her onion when it comes to this type of roles, this type of stories. She understands it. She knows that it's going to convince the audience, and she did it so well. You know, she did it very, very well. Big shout out to Funke Akindele. So casting wise, I think it was exceptional. Music score, sound design, I think it was brilliant. I mean, it was really brilliant. The music from top to bottom, from the beginning to the end, consistency, very powerful, very relatable. I loved the music score and sound design. Costume design, I mean, because of Uzo Arukwe's costume, and because of the costume party scene in the film, I would say, yeah, big shout out to the guys that did the costume in this film. And I saw Funke Akindele's name as well in it. I think she even gave herself the credit for costume design, you know. And I think it was really good costume wise. Overall picture, I think that's like the only area that I would say I wasn't so convinced with, but it didn't matter, honestly. And that's the thing about filmmaking sometimes, you know. If the story is convincing and engaging enough, you're really not going to care about every other thing in the film, to be honest. You know, if it's convincing and engaging enough, you really won't care. But in terms of picture, maybe I expected a little more. I don't know. Maybe I expected a tad bit more. But I'll still give it like 70% or 75% in terms of picture quality, in terms of cinematography, production design, art design, location, the types of locations that were used in the film. I'll give it a 70. It was all right, but it wasn't as impressive as I would have loved it to be. But for the life of me, I'm not going to say anything negative about this film. I think it's just an amazing film, worth the hype, worth all the noise. I mean, deserves to be the highest grossing film, Nollywood film at the box office in recent times. Well deserved, outrightly deserved, in my opinion, you know. And it's doing so well. The numbers are crazy, and congratulations, I would say one more time, big congratulations to Funke Akindele and the entire cast and crew of A Tribe Called Judah. Amazing actors, amazing film, very interesting. If you haven't seen A Tribe Called Judah, I think you should go and watch it. You should watch it. I mean, I want to watch it the second time. I'm probably going to watch it the third time, because now I'm in love. Now I am absolutely in love. I am sold. Literally convincing, great film. Big shout out to everyone that was a part of this production. And you know, let me know who your favorite character is in the comment section. I mean, I've told you I have 3 of them: Uzo Arukwe, Olumide Oworu, and Genoveva Ume. 3 of those 3 characters were characters that I absolutely fell in love with. It was really nice watching, you know, them. Of course, all the other actors were absolutely amazing, by the way. Timini was great. Toby Makinde was fantastic. I mean, like, all the other actors were really good. Jide Kene, Uzi Usman, Funke Akindele, these guys, Nseikpe Etim, everyone that had a role in this film was brilliant. I only picked my 3 favorite characters, but everyone that had something to do in this film as a performer was exceptional. Once again, big congratulations to Funke Akindele. Let me know what you think in the comment section. See you next time. Peace out.